Good evening, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated. My ex-MP, Mike Amesbury, was invited onto TV yesterday, and I'm quite annoyed about it actually. This is the problem with the mainstream media, and this is why the Labour Party are going to be consigned to the dustbin of history at the next general election. The legacy media and the political elites are on Mike Amesbury's side. They don't see any issue with him decking a constituent that was actually going to with legitimate concerns. His attitude when he smacked him while he was down on the floor 6 times. You won't speak to your MP this way, will you? Yes, I am your MP. Basically playing the big I am, the big look at me, look at me. This is the way the legacy media, and this is the way that the political establishment, both Labour and Tories, think of the regular people. People like me and the people that watch my channel. This is the disconnect. Why are they platforming people like Mike Amesbury, a convicted criminal, guilty of assault? Why are they doing this? Why do they think this is acceptable? Because they figuratively do what he did physically to us on a daily basis, and they are on his side, make no mistake about that. Sarah Pochen, the new MP for Runcorn and Helsby and Frodsham, has already been on the TV speaking about subjects that we've been taking to Labour MPs in the North for years, if not decades. The negative impact of mass migration and illegal immigration on the United Kingdom, specifically on the working classes of the land. She's taking the arguments to the mainstream and she's actually platforming these concerns, and this is the first time many representatives in the North will be looking at this and shitting themselves because they never do this. You go to a Labour MP, especially in the North, with an issue about immigration, they don't even respond. That's the crux of it. Reform UK cleaned up in the local elections. We all know this now. That's why the Legacy Party has cancelled some elections in England, because they didn't want the headline that Reform are the largest party. And that is the headline, Reform are the largest party. Just look at this. Imagine what it would have been if all the elections that were cancelled went ahead as well. It would have been a substantially larger tally. Why is this important? Why am I harping on about this when I've already made a video about it? Well, it does something unique. The legacy parties have never, I repeat, never taken local councils seriously. Anybody that gets elected a councillor in Labour or Tory use it as a stepping stone to greater and bigger and better things. That's why they don't actually respond to any local issues if you're a mainstream party. Reform UK gets to prove the naysayers wrong, and they can actually create local networks, infrastructure and ground game, which is going to be all important next year when we get to the devolved administrations, the Scottish Assembly and the Welsh Assembly, the Senate. If polls are to be believed, Reform UK have a legitimate shot at being the governing party in a devolved administration, namely in Wales. This again will come off the back of proving they can run local councils effectively and better than the legacy parties. They can then take this to the electorate in Wales and in Scotland and say, look, we're better than the legacy parties, you can put your faith in us. And it creates a broader network across the United Kingdom. So step 1's local elections, step 2 is ground game and building the trust and the local networks. Step 3 is winning one of the devolved assemblies. As I say, if you look at the Welsh one, that's the one that they're likely to win. But don't write Scotland off. Do not write Scotland off, because at the moment the polling is second place behind the SNP and in front of Labour. If Reform UK can get into a opposition position against the SNP, maybe put on another 10 to 12 seats, so they're up to 30, 34 seats, that's outstanding, especially to go toe to toe with the SNP in Edinburgh. That's going to be so funny to watch. And again, It shows the broader United Kingdom there is another path. You can choose something other than the Uniparty. You can trust the capitalists, and you can discard the communists or socialists. This is why it's so important that Reform build and continue to build. I still think that Rupert Lowe will be back in the party before the next Parliament. In fact, I've actually put a bet on that in my local bookies. I am quite confident that by the time of the next election, everything's going to be in order and they are going to win a thumping majority. This is how we take back our country. Reform are not perfect, but if they can take us back to a pre-Tony Blair state, get rid of the bureaucracy, restore power to the House of Commons, and actually get rid of the Blairite institutions and all of the quangos that actually take all the decisions, we're going to be in a much better position than we are now currently. A lot of people think that Reform are missing a trick by not being Trumpian. They're not behaving like Donald. What people don't understand and what people fail to realise is that our country is so far left. The Overton window is so far left. If we went so far right, comparative to how left we are currently, the country would likely get whiplash and would likely reject whatever programme for government that Reform went with. This is my opinion. As always, your mileage may vary. It needs to be done incrementally. Local councils, ground game, Senate, Holyrood, general election, get back to a 1990s state of Britain, which is far, far better than it is now. As living through 90s Britain, it was far, far better than this. And then we can look at other options. I'm of the right. I'm never going to change that point of view. I'm open to suggestions, comments below. Let me know if you think I'm talking out my rear end, as always. We need to take back this seat of Mars, this sceptred isle, our realm, this England, our United Kingdom. If you know, you know. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. You have a good evening, and the North isn't going to forget. The North remembers Labour. Labour, we see you. We are never voting Labour again. All your Red Wall MPs are panicking, and rightly so, that they're all out of a job come the next election. Labour is bye-bye. There's no coming back from this, even if you restore winter fuel payments, which the Prime Minister's already said he's not going to do. You are screwed. Deal with it. Thank you for your time.